Hello everybody, my name is Carly Densmore and today I will be telling you about my community nutrition practicum placement at the Women, Infants, and Children Supplemental Nutrition Program in Monroe County. The WIC Center that I interned at is hosted by the Anthony L. Jordan Health Center and is located in downtown Rochester at 783 Upper Falls Boulevard. WIC is a federally funded program and was founded over 40 years ago in 1974. The purpose of the WIC program is to provide low-income women, infants, and children with supplemental food, nutrition education, and health referrals. The nutritionists at WIC work as a team to provide personalized nutrition education to each participant. Nutrition education focuses on topics such as infant and toddler feeding, breastfeeding, prenatal weight gain, anemia and iron deficiency, as well as child and growth development. Nutrition plays a vital role in the early development of children, and therefore the WIC program was designed to improve the health outcomes of children in America and positively influence lifetime nutrition and health behaviors. Multiple studies have shown that the WIC program is an effective tool for reducing premature births, reducing the incidence of low iron anemia, increasing the access to prenatal care in early pregnancy, increase a pregnant woman's consumption of key nutrients such as iron, protein, calcium, and the vitamins A and C. Also, increase immunization rates, improve diet quality, and increase the access to regular health care. WIC is designed to serve pregnant women, breastfeeding women, infants, and children. Eligible participants must be at nutritional risk and have a low income. One's income status is determined by the number of people in a household and their weekly earnings. On this slide, you can view the income breakdown for the residents of Monroe County. WIC serves a very diverse population. The participants that I interacted with were of many different races and spoke a variety of languages. The participants' ages also varied greatly, as I interacted with newborn babies to great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers. I was very surprised to learn that the WIC program serves approximately 53% of all infants in the United States. This semester, I had the pleasure of working with Carrie Santos. Carrie is the senior administrator of this WIC location, and therefore she is responsible for ensuring that the site is following the state and federal guidelines. Carrie also works with the team of nutritionists to provide nutrition education to the participants of WIC. Carrie earned her degree in nutrition management from the Rochester Institute of Technology and completed the coordinated program to become a registered dietitian. After college, Carrie's first job was with the Society for the Protection and Care of Children in Canandaigua, New York, where she worked as a nutritionist for their WIC office. After working for a few years, she chose to continue her education and become an international board-certified lactation consultant. Obtaining this certification required that she participate in specific nutrition classes, supervise practice, and had previously completed 14 science-specific courses. After approximately 10 years of working for the Society for the Protection and Care of Children, Carrie transferred to the Jordan WIC location and was then promoted to senior administrator. The Jordan WIC site has a caseload of approximately 7,000 participants, so Carrie Santos surely does not deliver all of this nutrition education on her own. I had the opportunity to sit with many nutritionists and therefore observed many different styles of counseling. Some nutritionists were straightforward with the clients and got right to the point, whereas other nutritionists counseled the patients by asking open-ended questions and allowed the participants to direct the conversation. Carrie, in particular, was not afraid to address uncomfortable issues with the clients, and therefore I found her style of counseling to be extremely effective. You may be thinking, how much does it cost to receive all of these benefits from the WIC program? And the answer is Absolutely nothing. The WIC program receives federal, state, and municipal funds to provide resources to the eligible participants, as this program is under the jurisdiction of the United States Department of Agriculture. Each year, the U.S. Congress is responsible for determining the budget. For the fiscal year of 2016, it was determined that Congress will grant New York State with $355,348,386. Now that's a lot of money. The New York State government is then responsible for dividing the money between the many WIC sites. This funding is used to supply the participants with supplemental food packages and health education. The food packages are personalized to meet the participants' needs and may consist of infant formula, baby foods, milk, cheese, yogurt, beans, peanut butter, whole wheat grains, fruits, vegetables, eggs, whole grain cereals, fruit juice, and canned fish. Quality assurance is taken very seriously at the Jordan Health WIC location. After each appointment, the WIC nutritionist is responsible for documenting all of the topics that were discussed, and personalized notes are entered if any specific concerns were addressed. This documentation process is extremely important to the overall success of the program. On average, the participants are counseled 4 times each year. Therefore, documentation is critical in ensuring that previous goals are met and specific concerns can be continually addressed. Documentation is also extremely important because it is very common that a participant will meet with a different nutritionist at each appointment throughout the year. Therefore, before each appointment, the nutritionist reads through the previous notes to ensure consistency in the counseling and education efforts. New York State has the power to conduct audits at any time during the year, and therefore it is very important that the documentation is followed on a consistent basis. I will now briefly describe my experience as an intern at WIC. Each week, I shadowed a registered dietitian. As the weeks progressed, I began taking on more of my own responsibilities. I was responsible for weighing and measuring the infants and children, as well as the pregnant mothers and postpartum women. After obtaining the weights, I explained the growth charts to the caregivers and discussed any areas of concern. By the end of my experience at the WIC Center, I was able to complete the entire nutrition education sessions. I utilized many techniques of motivational interviewing as I asked the participants many open-ended questions in hopes to allow the participants to guide the conversation. I then was responsible for documenting their responses, answering any questions that the participant may have had, as well as addressing any issues of concern that I felt necessary after I heard the participants' responses to my questions. After counseling each participant for approximately 15 minutes, I printed the food vouchers and explained where and how they could be used. After each session, Carrie and I discussed areas that I could improve on, and she would provide input on how she may have approached certain situations differently. I was pleasantly surprised by my experiences, as the majority of the participants were extremely receptive to the nutrition education. I am very grateful to have had this experience, but more importantly, I am grateful to have received the education from RIT to prepare me for such a hands-on experience. As I mentioned in the previous slide, I utilized many techniques on a daily basis of motivational interviewing. I would not have had these skills if it wasn't for the workshops that Dr. Maya provided in dietetic environment and life cycle nutrition. I've never had a counseling class, and therefore I was very thankful that Dr. Maya added this topic to our coursework. Counseling is a very important skill to have at WIC, so much that in the past that Carrie has chosen to fill the position of a WIC nutritionist with individuals who have a degree in counseling rather than nutrition. She then chooses to train them in the basics of nutrition, and they seem to do the job just as well. The life cycle nutrition class was also very important to me because I learned in great detail about the typical milestones of newborns and children and the nutrients of concern for pregnant women. Many of the questions that the participants typically asked could be answered with basic nutrition knowledge, but I was pleasantly surprised by my ability to effectively counsel the participants and answer these questions with ease. These examples are, of course, not the only beneficial tools that I learned throughout my 2 years at RIT, but these stuck out the most to me.